Yo, what's up guys? So today we're going to be showcasing off how broken the new Numeron archetype actually is. There is 3 different ways to actually play this deck. There's going to be triple different versions of the deck. But hold on. We just are getting the effect of 2 Pot of Greeds in 1 card with Memories of Hope with this combo, which all it is just the field spell, or the monster that adds the field spell, because it basically is just discard, add the field spell. You could instantly go right into negate all of your opponent's abilities to actually play Yu-Gi-Oh cards, because as a quick effect, you attach a material. Your opponent's cards and effects can't be activated this turn. That's how we instantly shut them down. This guy got lucky, he had a Pancatrops. Most of the time, it's going to be instantly game for most players at this point, but I guess he can have a Pancatrops. Not that big of a deal. You're going to be able to follow up with lots of OTK plays. Now, I have several different versions over here, but guys, we can actually pull off a burn version of the deck. We can lock them out, or just kind of just play as a Piper Chaos variant over here. So, triple deck profiles, triple different builds. So, drop triple likes on this video. But anyways, yeah, the deck is pretty good. Heroes can OTK quite easy if your opponent has no Yu-Gi-Oh cards. This card, unfortunately, cannot be really utilized here because there is no end of the battle phase. So, like I said, there's multiple ways to play the deck. So, that's like the hero variant that you guys are going to be seeing. Now we're going to go ahead and show off a different version of a burn variant, because the deck can actually burn your opponent for pretty much game. You're usually short of 2,000 points of damage. Whether you want to go ahead and do attack damage, that is possible. Also, you guys will see that this deck has so many different ways to just game your opponent. It is so incredibly consistent. Literally, all you need is this card. By the way, for whatever reason, they decided this effect is a quick effect to send it from your hand or field to the graveyard. All you do is literally slap Numeron Network, because that's what this card goes ahead and adds. And then this card just lets you activate your card from the deck. Like, as if that's like balanced at all. Literally, just go ahead, activate that card, you instantly go ahead and send Numeron Calling to the graveyard, and you get to just spell summon 4 Numeron Gate Exceed monsters. So Numeron's super broken, and at this point you can go into whatever you want, or if your opponent happens to have a board, you can actually just straight up go ahead and pretty much make it game. This guy has some stuff in defense mode, but if they don't happen to have anything in defense mode, you guys will see how much attack these monsters can get up to, which is absolutely crazy. You can maybe even throw in some other cheese over here. So you guys can see we have 4 monsters with 16,000 attack, although they don't really stay up on the field because of the effect, but nonetheless you can go ahead and still go into 1 extra monster, follow up with a ceasefire, or the card, that new trap card that like banishes something from the grave that's activating its effect or whatever. That could also be an option, because again, you're usually short of that amount of damage for the burn version. Like I said, there's so many different ways to actually play this deck. So I'm going to show you guys different builds over here. This one's courtesy of Tortman. We got Stars, Yugioh, and Zeke. Shouts to all of them for sending some of the stuff in. But basically, all you do is you go ahead and activate this, go ahead and summon a bunch of monsters for free. But this version is actually pretty cool, because it does do the Kane Enable, which is kind of like a rank 1 deck over here, which you guys will see that the Piper Chaos deck can definitely utilize. And also, Kane Enable are great when your opponent don't read Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But dude, even in 2020, no one reads Yu-Gi-Oh cards. What's the point of reading? I don't know. But now we have the Embodiment of Crime and Punishment. These were the Kane Enable. Those were the original OG names. But anyways, Punishment and Crime is the new names, I believe, in the TCG. So 13 and 31, so it's kind of like reversed. So basically, it can't be destroyed by battle by card effects while it has material. Both of them have that effect. And then basically, they have to attack them, and then your opponent takes all of the damage. They, again, while you control the other one, you have to have both of them for those effects, though. But they must attack them. So, pretty much, your opponent makes a board, and they cannot destroy them by battle or by card effects, and they have to attack. So pretty much your opponent games themselves, because remember, you're going to be locking your opponent out, potentially, if that card does survive. But again, there are multiple ways to play the deck. That one was Kane Enable. You can see that the deck can still function on its own without trying to go for that. But again, all you need is literally Numeron Wall. You can go 1 for 1, you can go ahead and War Arthau and add the card, and you can instantly just go ahead and activate the field spell, Terraforming, Metaverse. There's lots of options. Basically, you have the field spell, you lock your opponent out, they cannot Yu-Gi-Oh! And again, I think that XYZ draw card, where you're going to draw literally 4 cards, should be in all the builds. That's probably a card a lot of people probably didn't even think about running. But we'll get into the deck profiles for all of these. I just want to give you guys all different builds so you can decide how you want to play the deck. because you can definitely see that they can get up to 16,000 attack. Although with the 16,000 attack, technically the last one doesn't get to actually commit the attack, because just gained the attack, if that makes any sense. But you can get monsters up to 8,000 attack and still attack. It doesn't really matter. Most of the time it's game anyways. But nonetheless, we're seeing the Infinite Trap Fortress Megaclops. I mean, you can make this multiple times, which you guys will see over here. This guy's going to kind of be able to play a little bit over here. This does count as a spell, so it still is technically affected by that, because it's only unaffected by monster effects. So he's going to go ahead and attack right into it, but remember that the card cannot be destroyed by battle except with an Xyz monster in the first place. So I don't know if this deck's even going to have any in the extra deck. It's like some type of Pendulum Magician variant with Dark Magician. You can see Evil Thorn, doing some burn damage, get out double Evil Thorn because of Mystic Piper variant deck. And then once again, the Cain and Abel coming out, or again, 31 and 13 coming out. And then we also have Princess Sprite, lets him go ahead and add another card for free. If it's a monster, it just goes to the graveyard, but it adds a spell or trap. You get to execute the top card. But nonetheless, he's going to go ahead and go into things. And remember, he has to actually attack this. I don't know why people don't read this. He's just going to be like, no, you have to attack this card. And then he's forced to attack it with everything. And they take all the battle damage. It's kind of just troll over here. But the Piper Chaos variant, I would say, is more fun than actually potentially competitive. Although you literally make S0. And your opponent can't really win because, remember, the Fortress over here is going to target an Xyz monster and then another card, supposed to summon and attach it, so you basically get to stop them from really doing anything in the first place. But I want to show you guys more of the hero one too. Oh, dude, I've seen so many people try the little cute Merfay deck. It's okay at the end of the day. I honestly, when I first saw these, I thought like people were going to try to make it like a burn variant deck. And the burn variant is still pretty strong, but what's really broken is just literally it goes instantly into this card, and then what does your opponent really do? Well, they can only really set cards. Who's playing Wiretap in 2020 when you have Red Reboot? I don't know. We're going back in the day. I mean, if he wants to go more back in the day, yo, it's all about 7 Tools of the Bandit. That's the OG card. But nonetheless, over here, it's going to be obviously OTK as well. He's just set 1 Valorfon Paz, like, probably not the best of plays, but he literally could not do anything. And you also have cards like Planet Pathfinder over here, where you get to add a field spell. I mean, the other card is so important. Literally, the field spell makes it game instantly because you just activate it and you get 4 Xyz monsters, S0, or you can go into any like Link monster that you want to go ahead and make, which can obviously be quite good because there's pretty good ones. Here's up against what would be considered a little bit more meta, the Adamant Sepitar, and on top of that, he still has the E-Telly to actually chain to the activation of S0. So let's go ahead and see how this plays out. Again, just trying to give you guys some variety. A lot of times, so with these decks, it's just S0. It's pretty broken. Like I said, what makes it even more broken is the draw power card, because on top of this, if you just run a bunch of hand traps and like Call by the Grave, anything that would stop your opponent, the new triple card where you're able to basically get Pot of Greed if your opponent activates a hand trap if they happen to stop this combo, that could be another card that you can play. Considering all these are OTG cards at the moment. Anyways, might as well, but obviously it's going to be OTK. So he summons a Quackimir Supplier over here. In addition to that, he had, of course, the Side Reflector. Not that it really mattered too much because it's going to be game anyways. He's going to go ahead and make the Shining, get massive attack, and pop everything. I think the hero version is quite cool because you can OTK, and it's probably like, what the heck is going on? Like, you can splash this in a lot of different things, and the reason why is because all it requires you to run is the small Numeron engine, which is basically Numeron Network, Numeron Wall, and of course the Numeron Calling. And then you have instant access to any Link 4 monster that you want for basically free every single turn, because remember, you just activate it from the grave, or from the deck, and it just goes to the grave and you get that effect for free. Now there is technically a downside that I do need to mention for this, and I'll give you guys a deck profile in a second, but Numeron Calling has this effect where if you control the monsters but Numeron Network's on the field zone, which it will be, because that's how you're getting this effect in the first place. You summon 4 of those with different names, but banish them during the end phase. Also, you can only normal or special summon once for the rest of the turn. So that's why S0 is pretty much the go-to card, and you're not seeing more extenders because you literally can't. But it doesn't really matter because this one card just stops your opponent from, again, playing Yu-Gi-Oh! At the end of the day. Now, this one over here is going to be a 16,000 attack, build. So the deck can, like I said, be a stall deck. I think this is going to be one of the most annoying decks to face up against because you don't know if it's lockout, you don't know if it's like splashed in, you don't know if it's going to be burn OTK, so you have to be very fast against this deck. But The problem is that sometimes you just literally can't be fast because you can't Yu-Gi-Oh! But nonetheless, this one is not going to be the lockout variant, so he's going to unfortunately get negated by the Persona Dragon. He loses out on some of the cards. Now, this monster actually has another effect over here that we do need to go over. Because while you can OTK your opponent by getting like 8,000, 16,000 attack on your monsters, the C1 Numeron Chaos Gate, Sunya over here, has this awesome ability to make it so you can summon it by using one Numeron Gate, a cam you control, and then you transfer the material. So this card, if this card exceeds summon, you banish all monsters on the field once per turn during your next standby phase after this card was banished. You just special summon this card, then if Numeron Network is on your field zone, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the combined attack of all banished exceed monsters, which, yeah, you can do a lot of damage. Of course, you want to beef them up a little bit first over here. So we're going to go ahead and see massive amounts of damage boosted up over here. You can see now they're all 16,000 attack, and then we're just going to go ahead and banish all of our cards. And don't worry, once that card comes back, it's a one and done over here. So T-Roar, so it doesn't really matter at this point. Like, he can't really win unless he Exodias, like, or has Destiny. Well, actually, he's not going to be able to Destiny Board. He's locked out. But you guys get the idea. He couldn't do anything threatening. Roar was indeed there. This card then special summons itself right back onto the board, and then instantly your opponent just loses. Like, this deck is so incredibly broken. Now this one is going to be a burn variant. I already showed you guys. There's multiple ways to burn your opponent in this deck. Because, of course, you can just get massive amounts of attack. Like I said before, there is a card I do want to mention, because a lot of times you can do 6,000 exactly, which we're going to go ahead and see if we deal massive amounts of damage. So you need something else to follow up with if you guys do want to play the burn variant. Yeah, there's that one, I think, was it called Grave Digger? I think it is, the trap card. I'll go over it once we go over the deck profiles for all of these builds over here. But, you know, once again, he's going to go ahead and pop all the cards, but it doesn't matter. Not really, because Numeron Network literally just gives you, it's like you lost your board. It reminds me of Pendulums. Like, it's gone. All right, slap them all down again. Next turn, no cost. Like, it's really unfair. If this effect was like once per duel or something, maybe it'd be a little bit more balanced. But I think, you know, obviously the card that gives you basically double pot of greeds, it needs to be in all the builds, like I mentioned before. If you activate it, most people will quit on you anyways. So we got one replay of it. That's all we need. I mean, you don't need examples of how to use pot of greed, right? Which is double pot of greed's effect. So he's going to go ahead and Volcanic Slicer. It doesn't really matter. This card comes back, 6,000 points damage. GG's. What a great game, Kappa. But yeah, I gotta give a shout out to my boy Zeke, as well as Torp and AzneyesWhitedragon for hooking me up with the replays. We do have more. I want to show off the anime version of this deck, because the anime version is actually really good too. Obviously it's illegal, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and hop right into the deck profile for these builds over here. So I think this one, Memories of Hope, should be in all the builds, but again, people probably just didn't know about this card. But let's go and hop into the hero variant first, because I thought it was a pretty cool mix-up here. So we have Honest Neos, 3 copies of Ferris. We've got the Dusted Gold. We've got Elemental Hero Stratos. We've got Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier over here. We have Solid Soldier. We have Shadow Mist, 3 copies of Vion, 3 copies of Planet Pathfinder, 2 copies of Increase, 3 copies of Numeron Wall. It is a dark, so you can maybe consider, if something along the lines gets negated in your combo, maybe you can still summon a monster and then still follow up with a mass change, because I still feel like Dark Law still has the potential to be really strong. Anyways, next up, 3 E-Calls. We got 1-for-1 Dark Calling, Polymerization, Reinforcement of the Army, Miracle Fusion, Upstart Goblin over here. But I feel like this is kind of unnecessary, because you already have 40 cards. Like, give your opponent 1,000 life points, extra disrespect. I like it though, but I think this card could easily be dropped. Anyways, Reinforcement Army, Miracle Fusion, Terraforming, Memories of Hope. We have Numeron Calling. We have Set Rotation, Skyscraper, and 3 copies of Numeron Network. The extra deck, what does matter is these cards. You just go into S0. I was also thinking, well, for the hero variant, you don't really have that much room. You can even throw in Super Polys just to deal with turn 1 boards. Called by the Grave would also be an excellent addition, just in case your opponent just tries to stop you somewhere in the middle of the combo. But Malicious Bane, Shining, 2 copies of that, Escorted Dad, and then we got Absolute Zero, 2 copies of Sunrise, and then we have Gaia, then we have number 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course S0, and then Dread Decimator and Cross Crusader to help you go ahead and follow up with those OTK plays. And for the Piper variant, we got double BLS. We got 3 copies of King of Bio, 3 copies of Eagle Thorn, 2 copies of Sage with the Eyes of Blue. Just lets you go ahead and add the Veilers. And then 3 copies of Jester Conflict, 3 copies of Piper, 3 copies of Turbo Booster, 3 copies of Guiding Light. All these are just like pretty much just special summon, get more cards so you can go for your 13 and 31 over here. So it's another like way to play the deck, which I think was really cool. I didn't actually expect anyone to build that version of the deck. Like I said, this one is more for fun, I would say, than competitive, because it still has the potential lockdown, but it's just a little bit slower, so to speak. Allure of Darkness, double of that. We got 1 for 1, 2 copies of Desire, 3 copies of Wear Arp there, 2 copies of Avarice, 1 Terraforming, 3 Numeron Calling, 3 Numeron Network. Then we got Princess Sprite, and then we have double copies of 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we've got 13, 31, 39, S0, the Infinitrack, Fortress, Megaclops. Again, this is just another follow-up play, because even if they get rid of your S0, they couldn't have done anything. Most Yu-Gi-Oh decks won't be setting too many, background unless they're playing Author Guys, but I haven't seen that deck in a while anyways. It's not the most popular thing, but it was like the only one. Okay, and then the burn version of it. So we got 3 copies of Nibiru just so we can deal with those boards, and I think this would be an excellent card because this deck doesn't really play too well into things that are already established. I mean, most of the duels were pretty much going turn 1, but let me go ahead and actually show off this card before I forget. Is it one word? Here we go. Gravedigger's Trap Hole. So when your opponent activates a monster effect in their hand or graveyard, or opponent's banished monster effect is activated, negate its effect and then do 2,000. Again, you could do 6,000 pretty easy in this deck, and then this just really helps seal the deal. Or you can go with the classic and one of my favorite cards, Magic Cylinder, or you can go with Blazing Mirror Force. That's another option. Anything else to just a burn. If you do want to play the burn variant, it's just, you can't get the effect twice, but a lot of times it's just faster just to finish off in that like one turn, you know? And then so anyways, we got Nibiru over here, 3 copies of Bigfoot, 3 copies of Danger Thunderbird. Let's say Big Bird. That's a Sesame Street Kappa. Alright, 3 copies of Ogopogo. Then we got Nessie, 3 copies of Scarecrow, Battle Fader, Numeron Wall, 3 copies of that, 2 copies of Numeron Calling for this one. I'd say just max out on 3 copies of everything, to be honest. And then evenly, again, dealing with those turn 1 boards. And then 2 Roars, double copies of Cylinders, 2 copies of Lost Wind, and the Blazing Mirror Force over here. So this can again help you prevent from getting OTK'd. We've got number 62, and then we have 97, 38, and then double copies of pretty much all of them over here. And then we also have number 100, Numeron Dragon, which we didn't get to go over, but anyways, it's once per turn you detach 1 material from its card. The card gains attack equal to the combined ranks of all executed monsters on the field times 1,000 until the end of the opponent's next turn. And when this card is destroyed by a card effect, you destroy as many monsters on the field as possible, minimum 1. Each player sets 1 spell trap from their graveyard to their field, and when an opponent's monster declares an attack, well, this card's in your graveyard, and you have no cards in your hand or field, you can special summon the card right back. Again, it's just for the Numeron, but it's really not going to be used too much. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the triple deck profile as well as the different builds for this archetype. That again, I think this card, when I saw this, I was like, wait, what? How did he just draw all those cards? This card is so broken, man. But overall, the whole archetype is broken. I mean, you literally slap. All you need is that field spell, and then you instantly get to activate that card from your deck, and then you just get out, negate everything with 1 card. Super consistent. Again, you can summon Planet Pathfinder. You obviously have Terraforming, and your other cards for like Set Rotation to go ahead and try to get it as much as possible, because that's what makes the game. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn on the bell so you don't miss out on the new anime build, which we'll be uploading here very soon. If you want to send me any replays of other Numeron builds or any Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, feel free to go ahead and do so at AzneyesReplays@gmail.com. But thanks to all you guys for hooking me up with the replays, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one, and I'm out. Peace.